Alright guys, so as you can see, I pretty much have everything ready for pretty much the rest of the assembly. Everything's painted up and ready to go. We have our interior tub, which I have gone ahead and done the flocking on. I thought about using black, but I really like the gray flocking a lot better than I do the black. It's not exactly even, but that's okay, because that's going to really be covered up by the seats when the seats go in, so you're not really going to see it. I have also added in our accelerator pedal, our brake, and our shifter, which this is an automatic car. You can tell by the up, down, and the over. We have polished out, sanded, and polished out the front windshield. If you remember, we had some scratches in this glass from just being in the box. So we've gone ahead and taken care of that. We have our door cards. I went ahead and did the light down here in silver with the red on the back, which is cool, which you'll never see it because the seats are going to cover it up. The dashboard came out very nice. I'm pretty happy with that. I did use a little bit of Bondic in there, or UV glue, to simulate lenses over the gauges. And the only real issue, one of those, because this was set up as one decal, but it's actually raised in there, it should have been 3, so I cut it. And then when I tried to apply the decal, this one on this side actually tore on me, but I managed to get it mostly back together. And you're not really going to see because it's going to sit like that. It'll be nice and dark. Did use the mechanical pencil to get some details on all of our buttons. Our little hazard switch button over there. This is the ignition switch. I was really tempted to drill that out and 3D design a whole ignition switch thing, but yeah, I didn't. There's our brake pedal. I went ahead and used the decals for the speakers up here. They're not like the most realistic, but they are a lot more complex than just having a big black blob there, like we have on the door cards. Kind of wish Tamiya had included some more decals similar to that for the door speaker. We have our folded down top. Now this is some mesh that sits back behind the seats and actually contains the roll bars. Now I thought I was going to be one of the cool kids and I was going to drill out all the holes in the original kit mesh. And when I did, I came to the sudden realization that that was a dumb idea because I made an absolute mess. Then I tried to clean it up using a chisel and tried to remove all the excess scrapings from the drill bit, and it just got worse and worse. So I ended up cutting the mesh area out of these entirely, cleaning it up with my chisels, then making a template from the other side and using that template to cut some photo etch mesh from Hasegawa. And I added that mesh into the existing kit part. I think it turned out pretty okay. I mean, it's not the absolute greatest, but again, these are going to be covered up pretty much by the seats, so I don't think you're really going to see it that much. That back, the folded down roof literally butts up against it, so it's going to, you're not going to see too much. It should be okay. I got rid of the kit steering wheel. I have replaced it with a Porsche 718 3D printed steering wheel, which has a little flappy paddles on the back of it. I like that a lot better than the kit steering wheel. Yeah, I prefer this one a lot better than this kit steering wheel myself. So to go along with the new steering wheel, I have modified the steering column. Okay, let's be honest, I messed up. The steering column has a couple of things that stick off on either side. I kind of thought that they were the shift paddles. They were not. One of them is the turn signal stock. The other one is the windshield wiper stock. So I went back in with some 0.75 millimeter round plastic rod. I just drilled the sides out and added some. And while I was at it, I added the cruise control lever down there as well. So all that is in there. For the interior, we also have our seats 99.99% done. The only thing that I do have to do is add the actual photo etch seatbelt. I'm going to wait until I am pretty much ready to get this all into place. But I do have the ribbon in place for it. I went ahead and did the seats in, what was that? Oh yeah. So I went ahead and painted the centers of the seats in this Monarch purple from MSP. I've never really used these before. It's a little thick. I added a little bit of water to it, just a drop, to kind of thin that out. I haven't brush painted in a very long time, and I just realized that's because I pretty much suck at brush painting. The surface is not smooth at all on that. But it's good enough. Something else I did to the interior tub, you can't really see it, there you go. I cut the sides right here. So the seat belts on the actual car go in right here. So I've gone ahead and placed a cut on either side. And what that will allow me to do is when I put my seat into place, I can tuck that ribbon in through the side after I put my photo etch seatbelt latch on there. Then when we take our door card, and we do our door card in place, that's all going to go together pretty much like that. And then I can just glue the ribbon down at the bottom. And that'll disappear, and it'll look like it's supposed to just do that. Another thing, the kit for the decal sheet gives you 4 of these silver Porsche logos. These are for the wheels, and then it gives you 4 more that are in color. I'm going to be using the ones that are in color if I use them. And so I decided to take 2 of the silver ones and just mounted them into the headrests to give it a Porsche logo. Now these are not the original kit seats. The original kit seats are pretty much the basic Porsche Boxster seat. These are from a 718 Cayman, I want to say it's a GT4 seat. And I just thought they looked cool. So I grabbed them and 3D printed these as well. Moving away from our interior, we of course have our license plate Plymouths. I decided to do the exhaust tip in gold to match the wheels and to hopefully match up with the Boxster that we have on the back end that we did in the gold. Focus camera. I kind of thought those would look good together. I also 3D printed up a set of 718 Cayman mirrors that have, the arms are different. Now I had to turn around and make this little triangle backing because the 718 mirrors actually bolt onto the side of the car. The kit mirrors do not. The kit mirrors are on triangles, and they this side. So the kit mirrors are going to go right there, and they will actually sit on the side part of the glass. So I just created the backing so that I can do the same with these. They'll just go right up into that side portion. Much just like that. And then we have all of the glass. We have our side indicators, which I did in Tamiya's clear orange on the inside. And then I did them in a Tamiya's, it's LP48 sparkling silver. That's what they call it. LP48 sparkling silver on the other side of the clear orange. So the outside edge is just the clear glass, and that gives you that lens look to it. We did not silver the backside of these, but that's okay, as when they sit in on the headlight mount's already got like that chromed finish to it. So they will be nice and reflective on the backside. And last but not least, we have our tail lights, which we didn't do these either. These were kind of fun though. Come on, camera. All right, so we have our taillight assemblies. Masking these was interesting. Trying to keep the reverse light clear, getting that orange and getting the red in there. That was a lot of fun. And I did not do the silver on these because I've done the silver on the actual body itself. So when we glue these in place, again, we're going to get that reflective marker look on the back. So that's where we're at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and do some assembly, and I'll get back to you with where we're at the end of the week. All right, guys, and here is our finished interior assembly. All in all, it looks really good. Seat belts fit in there really nice. A little trick with the cutting the slats in there works perfect. So we just glued them in there and cut them off. They look like they disappear into recesses like they should. Our seats look good. Little narrower than the roll bars, but honestly, I'm good with it. I had to kind of custom size these a little to make them fit the way I wanted them to. Yeah, so I'm happy with the interior. Alright guys, so that is a wrap on Tamiya's 124 scale Porsche Boxster. So this was again for the second annual Porsche group build hosted by the Scale Model Car podcast. Go ahead and check those guys out. The link will be down in the description, as well as all of their individual channels as well. Give them a check out if you haven't already. Again, we did go with the Splash Paints Porsche Amethyst Pearl. Color went down absolutely fantastic. Spray gunner 2K clear. These are HRE P101s for the wheels, 3D printed. I got them off Colts 3D. They're a two-piece wheel. Makes it really easy to do the two-tone on them. We did our Boxster letters in the gold. We also did gold for the exhaust tip. I felt that tied in the wheels and the Boxster really well. Some issues that I did have, I don't know how well you can tell, but inside those headlight lenses there's another lens. It is a half circle shaped lens that goes, it's supposed to be for the actual headlight. Now the real headlight should be an actual full circle. Those half circles have no locating points. They are a pain in the absolute backside to get in place. I dropped the left one. The driver's side one I dropped at least 15 times. It's an absolute mess, but we did manage to get it in and get the lens on so it doesn't look too awful terrible. Another issue I had was the car did not want to sit on all four wheels. And I found that the issue was when that shock on the driver's side front slid into the hole that it's supposed to go to for its locating, it drops up too far and it lifts the wheel up. So basically what I did was I filled that hole with some CA glue and some activator so that it would harden up. Because of how the upright sits and how the shock and all that works, it does not flop around. It still pushes up like it's trying to go into that hole, but it can't, and it's just perfectly positioned so that a car actually sits flat like it's supposed to. Check out our underside really quick. All that detail came out really well. I love how the exhaust turned out. So I have been using Alclad's exhaust manifold for a very long time. And I've been spraying it over black primer and getting this really, really dark, kind of a burnt coppery color. I did not realize that I have been using this color wrong all of this time. So this is actually sprayed over Mr. Hobby stainless steel, and if you just mist it on, you get this absolutely gorgeous kind of yellowy, sepia-ish, burnt, still sort of metallic, coppery. It's just a great shade on those exhausts. So we have our interior. The seat belts disappear perfectly, just how I expected them to. And that, basically, I just cut slits underneath the lid for the parcel shelf. I just cut a line right underneath there. So the door covers it up. You don't see it, but it's just enough to slide that ribbon through. And it turned out fantastic. I like the way the seat centers turned out. I took a risk and brush painted those using some MSP Monarch Purple over some black primer. I had originally two-toned this car as black and tan, and I think that purple really ties in with the rest of the color. So we have our mesh inserts back here behind the roll bar. We have our custom plates for the Porsche Group Build 2024. And of course, it wouldn't be one of my builds without getting a registration sticker. So we completed it in June of 24. Other than that, everything went pretty well. I did have a little bit of trouble getting everything to seat properly. I had to glue the front end in, but that's okay. Otherwise, it kind of drops in perfectly fine. I think part of the issue is just the interior might be bumping up against the front of the glass, maybe. I'm not entirely certain, but we did get that sorted out. I've got some 718 Boxster side mirrors in here that I 3D printed after I built mounting posts, the little triangular mounting points that glue onto that glass piece. Those look really cool. We have the 718 steering wheel, which that looks great in there. And we have the 718 seats. I'm very happy with how all of that turned out. Now, I jokingly said to some of my friends that I just got a new job at SpaceX. That rear view mirror there, I had to actually 3D model and print. I don't know if you can see it, but I had to 3D model and print the rear view mirror because I was holding the original kit one in my tweezers and it pinged off and went to outer space. And we've got a toll tag. Now the decals for the license plate and the registration sticker and whatnot, I used a new decal paper. Normally I use something called Expert's Choice. It's made by the people who make bare metal foil. I saw on one of the Facebook pages, somebody posted something about this Koala brand, no need to spray water slide decal sheet. I know you can't see it because the desk is in the way, but it's on Amazon. And they claim that you do not need to put any kind of a clear coat over it like you normally would with an inkjet. And I was very skeptical, but I figured I would try it because with my new printer, with the Canon printer, unlike my HP, the ink runs really badly. Like as soon as I spray the clear coat or just, you know, the decal film from Microsol, anytime I spray anything over them, even if I've let them dry for like 2 or 3 days, the black will run. This stuff, absolutely perfect. I was afraid that as soon as I put these decals in the water, they would run. They absolutely didn't. So I have no idea how they managed to do that. No clue, but the stuff actually works. So you can actually just print it straight on the sheet, let it dry for, I mean, honestly, normally I would let this dry for 2 or 3 days before I would try clear coating these. I pulled these almost straight off the printer, like maybe 5 minutes, and I was dunking them in water because I expected them to fail, and they didn't. They just held up and came out perfect. No runs at all. So I don't know what they're doing with that decal sheet, but it is really good stuff. I'll try to remember to put a link to that in the description below. It's on Amazon. It wasn't that bad. You get like 5 sheets, I think. And I think it was like $8 or $10. It's not. I mean, if you have to do decals on your own, which I always do for the registrations and the toll tags and my license plates, this saves you a lot of time and a lot of effort jacking with trying to seal in the decal paper. Alright guys, so that is going to be a wrap. From here we're going to move on working on the Mustang, as well as I will start working on the unboxing for whatever I'm going to come up with next. Thanks for hanging out with me guys, I always appreciate you, and I will catch you on the next one.